welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and today I am sharing a library book haul. If you don't know, I used to be a librarian. This week marks the end of the 4th week at my new job, so it's been about a month since I left the library, and I'm sure a lot of you are like, do you even use the library anymore? And heck yes, I do. So I want to go through all of the books that I currently have out from my local library, and be forewarned, it's a lot. If you watched my last library book haul, some of these books might be the same just because of renewing and renewing and renewing until I've read them. So definitely I apologize if these are any repeats, but let's go ahead and jump into all of the books that I currently have out from my local library. And because some of these books are hardcovers and they have those plastic dust jackets, I will apologize now for any glares, and if it's hard to see them, I'm sorry. First up, I have Bunny by Mona Awad. I never intended to read this book. It's definitely not my cup of tea, but I'm reading it for a video. This book is kind of been dubbed like a weird horror, just weird, and we'll see how I feel about it. The next book that I have is In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. This I might have actually talked about in my last library haul. I actually returned it and got it back out because, again, I need it for a video. But this is a memoir, and it is written in kind of these like short vignettes. And the kind of theme of them all is like the dream house as fantasy, as legacy, as sanctuary, as void. It is a memoir about this woman who was going through living in an abusive relationship, and this is her memoir about that time in her life. I also have A Touch of Stone and Snow by Mila Vane. This is the second book, and it is a fantasy romance series that I just really adore. I loved the first book and I gave it 5 stars, and I'm really excited to get into this one. I guess I can't really tell you about this book because it would spoil the first one, but it's kind of about a fantasy world where in the past, like before the first book, there was this kind of evil conqueror who destroyed a lot of land, killed a lot of people, did a lot of bad things, and now that he's gone, these people are in recovery, are finally building back their kingdoms to only hear rumors that he's coming back. And that's kind of like the overarching plot of the series, and that's where I'm going to leave it at. The next book that I have out is Orlando by Virginia Woolf, and this was recommended by Jessica from Lady Lovestead Reads, and she made a video, this was a few weeks ago, of her all-time favorite books, and this was on that list. And while I've heard of it before, I didn't actually know what it was about, and it sounds super intriguing and I'm really excited to read it. It's basically what sounds like just like a time-sweeping novel about Orlando, who is a passionate young nobleman. And then at the end of the book, he will have transformed into a modern 36-year-old woman, and 3 centuries will have passed. This book just sounds very intriguing and also like such an interesting product of the time that it was written in. Virginia Woolf was definitely ahead of her time, and I'm really excited to read this. One of my last days at the library, I kind of just like browsed around because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it for a while because of the pandemic, and I looked in the children's graphic novel section and picked up Jo, an adaptation of Little Women, sort of. And this is by Kathleen Gross, and I think it's kind of self-explanatory. It is a retelling of Little Women, and let's see. Jo ends up having feelings for Freddie, who is a girl on the school newspaper. So it's definitely a modern twist of Little Women, and I'm excited to read it. Another book that I currently have out is Dearly by Margaret Atwood, and this is a collection of poetry. Next, I have Real Life by Brandon Taylor, and this is on my Goodreads reading challenge for the year. This book has been everywhere. I've seen it so much, and I know it's definitely being lauded as one of the best books of 2020. I'm pretty sure it won an award of some kind. I don't really follow award type things, so I couldn't tell you for sure. And I don't really know anything about this book, so let's learn together. Almost everything about Wallace is at odds with the Midwestern university town where he's working uneasily toward a biochem degree. An introverted young man from Alabama, black and queer, he has left behind his family without escaping the long shadows of his childhood. For reasons of self-preservation, Wallace has enforced a wary distance even within his own circle of friends. Some dating each other, some dating women, some feigning straightness. But over the course of a late summer weekend, a series of confrontations with colleagues and an unexpected encounter with an ostensibly straight white classmate conspire to fracture his defenses while exposing long-hidden currents of hostility and desire within their community. I always feel like literary fiction sounds super boring, and then I read this synopsis and I'm just like, damn, that sounds so intriguing. That sounds super interesting. Next, I have Fly Away, and this is by Kathleen Jennings. This, I think, is a fairy tale retelling, a beguiling story that proves that gothic delights and uncanny family horror can live and even thrive under a burning sun. It's a short book, blurbed by Holly Black. I'm really interested. Next, I have Catherine House, and this is by Elizabeth Thomas. Again, this is a book that blew up last year. Everyone was talking about it, and so of course I did not read it. But now I have it on my list for a video, and I am kind of intrigued because it sounds very weird, and a weird that I think I will like. So I know Kayla from Books and Lala had this as a book club pick, as one of her horror book club picks, and I'm pretty sure like people who like horror don't consider this to be horror. It's more like weird. Yeah, but its strange protocols soon make this refuge, with its worn velvet and weathered leather, feel increasingly like a lavish prison. And when tragedy strikes, Inez begins to suspect that the school, in all its shabby splendor, hallowed history, advanced theories, and controlled decadence, might be hiding a dangerous agenda within the secretive, tightly knit group of students studying its most promising and mysterious curriculum. That right there makes me really excited to read this book. Next, I have another graphic novel, and this is Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I don't think I've ever actually read a book by Jason Reynolds, which definitely need to remedy that soon. This book I also think has an audiobook, and if you've never listened to an audiobook for a graphic novel, I highly recommend it. It's such an interesting experience, and I think I'm gonna listen to it. I might do both. I might read it and listen to it. But I really like the artwork. Who's the artist? Danica Novgorodov. Alright, just a few more books to go, I promise. The next book I have is Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin. This is also kind of like a weird book. Experience the blazing, surreal sensation of a fever dream. I kind of want to just leave it at that, you know? Ghost story for the real world, love story, cautionary tale. An aura of strange psychological menace and otherworldly reality in this absorbing, taut, and unsettling novel. This book was definitely on my last library haul, and I'm going to read it this month. I promise me. Because I'm not going to promise you, because I don't want to break a promise to you. And that is AOC. This is a collection of letters. It's The Fearless Rise and Powerful Resonance of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's edited by Linda Lopez. If you don't know, AOC is a representative of New York. I'm pretty sure she is the youngest person ever elected to Congress, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm really excited to finally read this. Next, I have A Burning, which is by Megha Majumdar. I'm so sorry. This is another book that is on my Goodreads challenge for the year. No, this has something to do with a train ride and a terrorist attack on a train because of a careless comment she posted on Facebook. Has the alibi that can set Siobhan free, but it will cost her everything she holds dear. I actually heard that this was kind of boring, but I'm really hoping it's not. I'm really excited to read this. I shouldn't let other opinions sway my decision before I even read this book, so I'm excited to read this. And then the last two books I have I've got Anxious People by Fredrik Backman, his newest book. This I had on hold for so long and I finally got it. I know that's about like an open house for like a real estate type of thing, and then there's like a hostage situation. That's all I know. That's all I really want to know going into this book. I know that so many people love it, and I'm really interested to see what all the hype is with Fredrik Backman. And then the last book that I have out currently, Total, I just saw it on the shelf and I loved the cover and the colors and I just had to pick it up. And it is One of the Good Ones by Mega and Maritza Malit. I'm guessing they're sisters? It doesn't say that they're sisters, but the first bio for the first author says that she's the oldest of 4 sisters, so I'm gonna assume that they're sisters. And I just like, I feel like the bold colors, it's just like, it's such a beautiful cover to me. I just think like the illustration is very well done. I don't have any idea what this book is about. Isn't Being Human Enough? When teen social activist and history buff Kezzy Smith is killed under mysterious circumstances after attending a social justice rally, her devastated sister Hoppy and their family are left reeling in the aftermath. As Kezzy becomes another immortalized victim in the fight against police brutality, Happy begins to question the idealized way her sister is remembered. Perfect. Angelic. One of the Good Ones. Even as the phrase rings wrong in her mind, why are only certain people deemed worthy to be missed? Happy and her sister Jenny embark on a journey to honor Kezzy in their own way, but there's a twist to Kezzy's story that no one could have ever expected, one that will change everything all over again. I'm excited to read this book. I think this is going to be a very interesting, intriguing book and have a lot to say about the social justice movement as a whole and how we immortalize people in general. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I'm glad I picked it up because I just really like the cover and I like a story about sisters that's written by sisters. That sounds amazing. So I'm very highly excited about this book as well. And that is the current library haul that I have. I would say that this is kind of like a weird mixture of books, but it's exactly what I expect from myself. This is exactly how I read, and I think these stacks just really highlight that. So really excited to read these books, and I'm just really excited to still be using my local library, and I highly encourage any of you to utilize your local library in some way. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought about them, and I will see you in a new video soon. Bye!